Peace and blessings, y'all. My name is Madi, and most of you know me, but for those who don't, I am a East Harlem born, Bronx bred, Philly based educator, youth worker, activist scholar. Some folks call me a healer. I oftentimes say a medicine woman. And so I'm raising money in order to cultivate medicine through yoga and through yoga teacher training programs specifically. It's my hope that by increasing my skills and strengthening my skill set in order to offer yoga as a practice, that I will better be able to help folks within movement space sustain their own power as they continue to confront power. I also know that within difficult times like this, folks outside of movement space also need a bit of hand-holding in order to come back into their breath, back into their bodies, and ultimately back into their power in order to sustain the fight for individual and collective liberation. And so this program, which is trauma-informed and is trying to teach yoga for all bodies, will help me to better serve folks who have been traumatized, folks who oftentimes are not thought of within traditional yoga spaces, like our GNC and trans folk, like our folks who are differently abled, and that through that kind of training, I will hopefully help people to come back in tune with their own medicine in order to sustain themselves for this long-term fight that we have ahead of us. And so I want to thank you for any kind of pouring into me that you offer in this time, knowing and hopefully you know that it will pour right back into you and into our community. I'm really hyper aware that I am asking for your support during a really difficult time of mourning and grieving, and that this summer 2016 has been such a bloody and tragic time for us as a people, from Orlando to Iraq to Turkey to Bangladesh to, of course, just this week with Alston Sterling and Philando Castile. And so this is exactly why I want to pursue yoga teacher training in order to kind of help us during these times of mourning and grief to come back into breath and to really kind of shift some of that energy, right? In a material world that says that we are unsafe and that we are not protected, particularly young Black lives, particularly our queer and trans lives, particularly the poor, right? That how do we, even in the face of toxic masculinity and in the face of U.S. materialism and militarism and imperialism, and an anti-Blackness that is rooted in white imaginative fear, how do we continue to hold each other to create sustainable and coordinated communities that are rooted in a loving practice that allows us both the space to heal and get information as we shift culture, elevate and vibrate consciousness, and ultimately achieve and manifest individual and collective liberation in a way that truly honors the ancestors and, more importantly, our descendants.